Sup, Boo Radley? How y'all doing? Shabbat Shalom. It's late Friday night, after midnight now. So we are in the liminal space between the end of one day and the beginning of the next. So this is actually a very powerful time of night to be tuning into spiritual guidance. So well done us. Good on us. I just got in from work. I had a fairly good Friday night at the restaurant. It was just kind of low key, not too rowdy. I mean, I say that, but like everything, the whole night was fine, except for this one table. It was like this family, and it looked like they had like adult kids with them, like a couple. But I don't know, the girl looked older than 21, but I heard the table say something about her being 21, or I assumed they were implying that it was her. And this chick, like, my section was in this private dining room that's like off the area where the bathroom is. And I'm like coming out of my private dining room, and this lady's like, there's someone that got sick like all over the stalls in there. And I was like, oh God. Okay, we'll get somebody to clean it up. So I went and found the girl whose like side work it was to be bathrooms tonight. And this is where Kabbalah came in and helped me, because I was like, I have to be sharing and help Elizabeth clean up the throw up. Because she's one of the trinity of Liz's, and also because she's pregnant, and because nobody should have to clean up throw up by themselves. I feel like no matter what you have to do, as long as you have a partner with you for moral support, like you can really just do anything. So I was like, come on, we're gonna glove up, and we're gonna take us some bags in there, and we're just gonna tackle this. So this girl had just like sprayed throw up all over 2 stalls, and it's just like, what? And she made no attempt to clean it up after herself at all. I mean, there's like toilet paper pulled everywhere, throw up on stuff, and we're just like, just got gloves on, we're just wiping everything down as fast as we can, like spraying everything. And meanwhile, you know, like our tables need us. So we get this cleaned up, we get ourselves biohazard washed, like deloused, to go back to the tables. And try to go back to your table like you haven't just been handling throw up. And so then it's like we're all like paranoid, like watching her at the table, because this was like before they even got their appetizers. They still have like 2-3 more courses to go. So we're like, holy shit, like, is she gonna throw up at the table? I mean, I'm telling you, this girl probably went in the bathroom. Every time she got up from the table, everybody was like, she's in my A, she's in there, she's in there. She just kept destroying these stalls and not even trying to clean it up. And like at one point, like my managers were like, we gotta ask her to leave. And they said they were, but then they never did. And I was like, y'all said you were gonna make her leave, you didn't. She's thrown up in there like 6 times. I helped twice with throw up. I did not know about the other 4 throw ups, but I think that we had like more than one person helping every time. But yeah, so like public service announcement, if you are going to throw up in a public bathroom, that's okay, because sometimes people get sick and you can't plan on it. But unless you're going to die, you should probably do everything you can to clean up your throw up and not leave it completely for other people to deal with. That is rude. It is beastly, common, grotesque, gauche, couthless, like the least classy thing that you could possibly do is like just go throw up or shit all over something and then just leave it for somebody else to deal with. That's the worst. She did the second worst thing that I think you can do while dining with people in eloquent environments, or really just dining anywhere, is that she then went to the table and had like a big old paper towel and was blowing her nose like this, like right over the table, at the table. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your deal is. You do not blow your nose at the table. You get up, you excuse yourself, you blow your nose away from the table. People are eating. Ain't nobody want your mucus like spraying out of an orifice. Like, you should not like push body fluids out of any orifice at a table where you're eating. Let's just like hands down. And I remember years ago when I worked in the restaurant industry before I was in film, which I've just left film to go back to the restaurant industry again. So I'm like growing this channel and some other things. But yeah, so anyway, back the first time in the restaurant industry, I remember some people like changed a baby's diaper in a booth and just like left it. And I'm like, what is wrong with people? That is so gross. I remember hearing once a story about someone using a bowl or a dish to like let their kid pee in at a table because they didn't want to go to the bathroom. And I mean, like, this was like lower Broadway, downtown kind of people. So this is not like the restaurant I work at now, but still, like, throw up girl in the bathroom. That's the worst I've seen there. And it's the worst I've seen anywhere in a while. And you should never act like that. And don't blow your nose at the table or pick it or anything like that. If you're going to do something gross, excuse yourself. I think that's all. That's the most exciting thing that happened, was the floods of vomit running through the the aisles of the tables. It wasn't that bad, but I mean, like, it might as well have been. Okay, guys, so our message for the weekend, I'm really loving it because I think it's a greater message than just for the weekend. I think that this extends, like, in the greater sense, because it really speaks to this new cycle that we're starting. We got first the Fool, which I love. Like, her hair is sort of like mine. I need to trim mine up a little bit. I love this aqua color, and I'm pretty much obsessed with her outfit. But like, I can't pull off that aqua color hair, but somebody at work has it and I love it. So yeah, so we got the Fool to get started. And then the second card was the Wheel of Fortune. And then our third card was Seven of Wands. So we had, is this going to be better for you to read it this way? So we had the Fool as 1, Wheel of Fortune as 2, and Seven of Wands as card 3. And so here's the impression that I was getting overall, is that, you know, if you've been watching these videos, you know that for the past several months now, pretty much this whole year, we've been talking about this huge, fresh new cycle, big new cycle energy that's starting. And so this past eclipse season and Mercury retrograde, and then like the shadow of all of that following over the last couple of weeks, has really purged a lot of emotion and stored everything, stored anger, stored grief, stored sadness, stored frustration, all of that, stored belief systems, everything within us, you know, subconscious patterns, trauma, low grade accumulative trauma that just adds up over time, all of that that's just been, that we've been carrying around, like the old us, has really been ready to die away, so that a new up-leveled version of ourselves, a self that we have never experienced before, is coming to life, and a different way of living and seeing the world. And so a lot of that old baggage had to be dropped, and a lot of those feelings and stuff had to be seen, maybe acknowledged for the first time. And so you've probably been purging a lot of emotion, and maybe even doing some physical like activity to like sweat it out and get all that energy out. And it's good to like take salt baths and do whatever you can to just move all of this energy through your system and move the fluids through your system. Drink plenty of water. And just do the cleanse to just really clean it all out. In fact, you might even want to do like a deep clean around the house just to really do a big reset, because we are finally, it's like we were kind of like getting out of that cycle, and then we were sort of like in that void in between. And now I feel like the wheels are just like it's starting to crank just a little bit. We're starting to crank. We've been given little moments and glimpses of the successes to come and the fruits that await us, but we're not quite there yet. We're in the in-between, and it's like this year is kind of an in-between. It's a building year, it's a growing year, and it's like the in-between within an in-between within an in-between. It's like we're always in between. When are we gonna get there? When are we gonna get moving? And I feel like we're finally breaking trail, you guys, like in the cutest little outfit with our aqua hair and like charged phone, headphones in. And I'm so excited for us because finally we're starting to feel like a new person. We're starting to react to situations in a way that we haven't ever done before. We're being more proactive. We're feeling more grounded, more secure, more focused. But what's great is that we're able to pause and think about how we want to proceed before we just do it reflexively, which is huge. That is the beginning of actually embodying self-mastery. It's all about having enough self-control within to just be able to manage to pause and take a breath before you talk, before you answer, before you take action. It's quite a dance. And then from there, it's like, okay, how do you be proactive and pause and not move too quickly, but also don't like hesitate and delay? You know, it's like this balance of being impulsive, but not impulsive, like acting quickly. Like being able to act on impulse when you discern that that is what needs to happen, and being proactive and not stalling, not procrastinating, not hesitating, taking decisive action. That's what I'm getting at. But not being too, don't be reckless and don't be too impulsive. Try to do it wisely. One thing about the Fool is that the Fool represents the beginning of a great journey. This is the first of 21 or 22 major arcana cards, which are like major life phases. And they're like these like if you read the whole major arcana in order, it tells the story. It's like a progression of awakening of consciousness and embodying that consciousness and then applying it in your life, right? So we're setting out in this new up-leveled chapter, brand new, just getting started. And what's great about the Fool is that the Fool has the innocence of an unjaded baby, belief that everything's gonna work out, optimism, hope. You feel the potential. Look at her. She's like, I feel the potential. But if she's not watching closely, she could fall off the cliff. So be careful. Be mindful about, what you're doing and how you proceed, and don't be too foolhardy or quick sloppy. You want to make sure to be very careful because we're beginners again. So we want to make sure to avoid any like sloppy mistakes or getting in over our head or jumping in too deep too fast. Just take it easy and learn as you go, and give yourself time and be patient. Be enthusiastic and be hopeful. Be the positive Fool that it has so much faith and certainty that like the light of God is shining on them at all times, and that yea, they walk through the valley of the shadow of life, they will fear no evil, right? Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So the Fool is equipped with an open heart and courage and bravery to go forward, but also not knowing those problems to anticipate. So also enjoy your Fool's paradise while it lasts, because in the up level, you have new things that will be that you'll be facing and dealing with, but you don't know what's ahead of you, which is good, because we just want to enjoy the ride, right? We can't enjoy the journey when we know what lies ahead. We'll just freak out and just kill over. Okay, so then up next we have Wheel of Fortune, and I think that on this new journey, unencumbered by the past, left all our bags behind, and we're just like, got like one little backpack with us, right? We left all our baggage, those limiting beliefs that held us back. We've really been able to see them and overcome them. A lot of the patterns that we usually fall into, an automatic reflexive mode, I think we're starting to pick up on that, and we're starting to see that, and we're starting to notice like when they're happening and what they are. And So we're changing these patterns within ourselves, and because we're changing all of this stuff in our inner landscape, in our inner world, in our hearts, in our emotions, in our feelings, in our thought realm, in the way that we're using our imagination to, visualize our life and think about things, and the perceptions that we have, those are all being healed, and we've done a lot of work to heal those things, and so they're in the process of healing. And so I think that all that internal healing and peace that we are cultivating is turning the wheels of favor, turning the wheels of motion, of fortune, turning the wheels of fortune in our favor. I had a really hard time with that just then. But yeah, so, our inner world is always reflected by our outer circumstances. And then the things that are going on in our outer world are always telling us what's going on in our inner world. And so I think that we have a lot of good fortune coming our way. The darkest part of this journey, as of recently, I think is behind us. And we have, a time ahead of a time to catch our breath and to recalibrate and to enjoy a happy, languid moment for a minute. And I think good fortune is coming our way, and good luck and abundance and expansiveness and upliftment and optimism. The Wheel of Fortune card is associated with the planet Jupiter. Jupiter's very expansive. It's very philosophical. It's very optimistic. It's, all the things that we associate with Sagittarius. Fiery, passionate. So fun, lust for life is coming back, which is great because it's summertime. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, then that's great because it's wintertime. You can get cozy. I mean, hell, it's good time all year for your passion to be reignited. And I think that we're feeling a lot more secure about trusting life now and going forward because we've learned to create healthy boundaries for ourselves. And I think that we're learning how to push past all those patterns that we have been challenged by before. But I think most of all, we've learned how to maintain a sense of self and not be absorbed by other people's feelings. I think that if you are the kind of person who watches a video like this, there's a big chance that you're an empath, or you're an empath, and you're an empathic person. And what that means, if you don't know, is that if you're an empath, that means that you might be feeling all the people's feelings around you and not even know that they're not your own feelings. I know I used to have all kinds of crazy mood swings and all these things, and I'm just like, why am I like such a ball of like nutcase? Like, I am all over the map. And I realized that's when I learned what an empath was, right around that time, and it made so much sense. And then when I started doing things to protect my my energy field, it's like those problems went away, and it was like all of a sudden half of the anxiety went away just by figuring it out, because then I was like not thinking like, what is wrong with me? I'm a wreck. Like, why am I like sliding down the wall, like crying through the, And as it turns out, it was like probably the widow that lived next door. Our houses were really close together, and she had some difficult teenagers that were going through some real deep stuff. They were having like psychological issues and stuff, and they lost their dad and everything. So she was going through hard times, and I could feel the heaviness from their household coming upon me just at random all the time. And then when I found out that what an empath was, and like some things that I could do to like for instance, just protecting your energy field, I mean, it was a game changer, right? So we are learning different ways to set boundaries with people in our lives by communicating with them, by not taking on other people's responsibility for everyone else's feelings, which that's called enmeshment. So you're like, you are in your lane, I am in my lane, like you're responsible for your feelings, I'm responsible for my feelings, like I'm going to be a polite person and respect you, but I'm not going to like bend over backwards to make sure that I am codependently trying not to offend you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see the difference there? Also, I think that this card was mentioning that we now have learned in regards to the setting boundaries, how to set boundaries around ourselves so that we can maintain structure and discipline and follow up on steps that we're guided to take towards our goals and our dreams, but also within our interpersonal relationships, whether they be like with our parents, with our family, with our brothers and sisters, with our friends, coworkers, with our lover. We are able now to maintain our sense of self without being a chameleon and sort of morphing and mutating to blend in with other people around us. And I think that it's because we are starting to feel so much more secure in ourselves that our subconscious doesn't think that it's going to be abandoned if it is not just like everyone else and accepted, or taking care of everyone's feelings, or being how they want you to be, you know, to keep the situation, you know, all good in the hood. So I think we're all feeling so much more sovereignty and sureness of ourselves, and the ability that we're like, okay, we're all like, everything's taken care of. We can handle this. We can handle ourselves. We can handle, you know, our lives. And so because of that, we're starting to overcome these codependent tendencies that we picked up in early childhood that were planted there when we were just in galvanizing situations and we felt like we needed to take care of our parents and make sure that they were okay so that they didn't leave us, so that we wouldn't be abandoned children because our survival depended on it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a pretty normal thing for like kids to pick up, is that codependency, because you want to make sure that everything's okay with your parents, right? Unless you just had like super chill, like responsible, like good old fashioned parents. Like if you had like, you know, any kind of turmoil in the house, children, you know, take on the responsibility, and their subconscious tells them that they need to be the ones to like solve the situation. And if they can't, they feel inadequate. I've been tapping into this, some of my early childhood stuff that's planted the subconscious patterns within myself. And I've been doing the To Be Magnetic unblocking challenge for like, that's been going on. You can still sign up, not an affiliate. But my core limiting belief, there were so many to choose from, but like I was finally able to like narrow it down, because each one that I thought was so relevant would stem from this core belief that was, I'm inadequate. So believing that I'm inadequate, like on a subconscious level, has led to all these other therefore beliefs, limiting beliefs and patterns. And so I was able to get to the bottom of it. And during one of the meditation exercises, there's a whole bunch of different layers that go into their specific meditations. So it's hard to explain, but you just have to do them, but they're called deep imaginings, and you're basically going back in almost like a meditative or hypnotic state, and like reprogramming things in your childhood and going back into your subconscious and then trying to reprogram. So when I was in this like subconscious state, I tapped in and I was like thinking, you know, I was trying to answer the question, why would I have thought I was inadequate back then? And it was like something very clear told me. It was like, well, you were inadequate to solve all your mother's problems, because my mom would just like talk to me about just stuff like I was her equal in age. And I don't think she maliciously did that. She didn't realize that, you know, I was taking on all the stress of the house. But I was an empath, and I was also like 4, 5 years old. And so I felt like, oh, I need to solve these adult problems. And if I can't, you know, and I couldn't, obviously, because I was a child. I don't know, maybe I was giving them really good advice. Nobody's listening though. But I thought at the time, like, oh, I'm inadequate to like fix the problems of the household, because we just kept having problems. And I guess that got planted there, and I didn't even know until recently. And then, you know, there was more to it than that. There's plenty more volumes, but that was a really key moment to to place together. So that's one thing that you can do, is just follow these patterns back in order to break them. The more that you become just aware of them and like more about where they stem from, it's like they start healing themselves. Because it's like when you turn the light on, the darkness is gone. When you turn the light on, all those shadow monsters disappear, and you see that they're just, you know, distorted crap that's like piled up in your closet, right? All right, you guys, I'm gonna eat dinner and take a shower and water all my plants and do all that stuff. Hope you have a good weekend. I'll see you tomorrow night, very late, for our secret sermon. But until then, be good, but not too good. Ciao.